You are now tuned in to Sophisticated State of Mind podcast. We are your host. I am Sanayar.
And I am Miss Anarchy.
We're going to sit, sip, and smoke, talk about anything and everything, but keep it sophisticated with a good old dick twist. And today we are going to talk about crimes, but
what kind of crimes?
Funny crimes.
Funny crimes. I love that. Have you, not to what is it called? Self-incriminate.
Uh-oh.
I guess what I will say is, have you witnessed any funny crimes yourself, or shit that's gone down that you know is clearly illegal and you're like, that's kind of actually hilarious?
I've done a funny crime.
That's what I said. I was like, don't self-incriminate now. But have you have it a friend?
Yeah. So it was funny to me. All right. So we was young, we was teenagers.
Okay.
And we didn't have no money and we wanted to hang out. You know what I mean?
All right.
So we had this bright idea to go to the back of a bar and grab the cans and the bottles. Right?
Oh shit. Okay.
So we went to this bar and we was in Orange. I ain't gonna say where, but we was in Orange. We went to the back of this bar.
Okay.
And we was getting all the cans we could, all the bottles, right? And we took it to the recycler.
Shit.
So we got paid, right? It was like, dang, you got a lot. Boom, boom, boom. So we got paid. We went back to the bar, went back to the recycler, got paid, right? The whole time I'm like laughing my ass off because I'm like, this is too easy.
Oh, I'm beating the system.
You know what I'm saying?
Winning. Yeah.
So the third time we go back to the recycler, the dude is like, hold up, where you guys getting this shit from, right?
Yeah.
So he looks at the bottle and he looks at the bottom of the bottle and he's like, these are return bottles. You guys can't be bringing these here. By that time, it was already too late because he already paid us twice.
So I was like, what's good?
So to me, that was hilarious because in the time when we were doing it, we knew what we was doing, but the recycler guy didn't know. But we got paid enough money for three of us to go out and have a good time. So
I mean,
to me, that was fucking hilarious.
That is pretty fucking funny, actually. I
Shit.
like that.
What about you?
No.
Seen any?
Probably, but not that I've seen like crackheads steal bikes and shit like right in front of me, or silly things like that.
Yeah,
you
when
know?
you see a crackhead do something, that's just
and my
funny
favorite
most of the
thing to
times
do
anyway.
though is when you see someone of that stature, riding a bike, and to go and like look at them or out the window of your car and go, "Is that my bike?" and just see how fast they
Debo!
actually take off.
That's my bike now.
My bike now. That is my bike, or some shit like that. But yeah, no, I don't really think I've not in person. I don't think I've witnessed a lot of crazy shit in person.
Yeah.
I would love to though.
When I was in Long Beach, I witnessed.
I guess no, that's a lie because I have witnessed crazy crimes because we did
crazy
talk,
shit, right?
We did talk about that one time when I was working at my job and I had to call the cops
Oh
on that
yeah,
dude, and it turned into this whole spiel.
Big old thing.
If you want us to go into more elaboration with that, that's on that other episode.
Yeah.
The our customer service
service. Yeah.
So check that one out because that was a wild story from start to finish.
I witnessed. So I was in Long Beach and I was crossing the street, and as I was waiting for the light to change for me to cross the street, this guy was on the bus stop and he had a big ass boombox.
Okay.
Back in the day, motherfucker used to carry his boombox everywhere. So he had this big ass boombox and his car swooped up, and dude reached out the window, snatched the boombox, and the car sped off. But what was funny is dude had a zip gun. A zip gun is like a homemade gun.
Okay.
and he popped off the bus stop and was like pop pop pop, like, you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my
And I was
God.
like, oh shit.
You know what's funny is now that you mention the bus stop, right? Taking the bus, I had so many flashbacks of crazy shit that I've seen on the bus happen. I remember one time
Yeah, man.
I was headed to work and this dude decided to pick an argument and he was in like a nurse outfit, right?
Yeah. So the nurse
Decided
decided to pick
pick an
argument.
argument with this dude in security garb, like he was on his
Ah,
way to go
shit.
be a security,
Yeah.
do
Go to
something,
work.
and they're pop 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 going back and forth, yelling at each other. Well, you a bitch, no, you a bitch, da 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 da. And I'm just sitting there like, what's going on? Not really paying attention. The security guard dude, like, cause the nurse guy stands up, bucks up to the security guard dude. Security guard dude
Ah,
bucks up
shit.
and this is as soon as we're hitting a stop,
Uh-huh.
right? A bus stop. Security guy takes out his maces the nurse and
Oh,
everybody
shit.
on the bus. And
Yeah, because it's close
takes
quarters.
off as soon as the doors open. He takes off because it happened like right then. He waited for the doors to open, maced them, and took off.
You're
And we
like,
were
this
like,
my exit.
what the fuck? Everybody was like, oh my God.
This my stop.
We had to wait
For the
for the
bus
cops
to
to
air
come.
out and shit.
And wait for another bus to get there.
Wow.
And take off because now it was like
He was
a
at his
crime
stop.
scene or something
He was
like
at
that.
his
Yeah,
stop.
he was like, you want to
"I'm
fight?
good."
All right, I'm 2 minutes away from home. What's good?
Wow.
But it was just one of the one of the more crazy things I've ever witnessed.
Yeah.
And then there was this one time, I always catch homeless people fighting.
Bum fights.
Bum fights.
Volume 4.
And it sounds so fucked up.
Yeah,
But it's just,
yeah,
you
it
know,
is.
there's people that are
It's
like
cruel
they
shit.
live at the bus stop.
Yeah.
And there's this one particular bus stop that I had to take on my way to work, and it was in such a shitty part of town.
Mhm.
And that was the one bus stop that everybody hung out at. I had one guy ask me to go tell the bus driver that he wants to buy a pound off of him.
What?
And I was like, what? A pound of what? And he was like, yeah, girl, come on now. Like, come on, help me out. Like, tell the bus driver I'm going to buy something out. And I
Yeah,
was
but
like,
why you won't tell her?
You leave me the fuck alone. And I literally looked at him and I was like, fuck off. And he was like, why you gotta be so rude? And I was like, fuck off. And he's like, why you gotta be so mean? I was like, fuck off. That's all I said to him until he proceeded to do exactly what I asked him to do.
Uh-huh. Which is to fuck off.
Which is to fuck off. But you get to deal with some crazy shit. That's why I'm so glad I don't have to take the bus anymore. Ever. Again. I vowed that to myself. As soon as certain shit happened, I was like,
That's fucking hilarious.
I'm not putting myself in those positions anymore.
So I got some shit right here.
Okay.
I got a grandma and a grandpa busted for a truckload of weed. Now,
I love that. Why you
so-
gotta bust people for weed? That's so stupid.
you know,
But
of
that's
course,
right.
weed is legal in some states, and some states it's not.
In the state we are in, which is California, it is legal. Legal.
It's legal.
It's legal.
It's
legal.
it's weedle.
It's legal.
But so basically, they were in Nebraska,
Okay.
and
Which
you
is
know,
not.
Nebraska's a little bit behind when it comes to the rest. No disrespect to Nebraska, but y'all a little behind, okay?
Full disrespect.
But the thing was, they were from Vermont, and they were driving
Mhm.
in December,
Okay.
and one was 80 and one was 83, right? So the
Okay.
man was 80, the wife was 83,
Okay.
right? So they pulled up and they started giving out gifts. Now, you know, most people think, oh, I'm about to give me an iPad. Kids be like, you know, to give me some Legos, you know, an ugly sweater or whatever. But that wasn't the case. They pulled out 60 pounds of weed and just started handing it out. And of course,
Merry fucking Christmas.
thank you, Grandma and
I would
Grandpa.
have been stoked. I would have been like, hell yeah. That is Mr. and Mrs. Claus right there.
Well, they ended up getting arrested.
oh,
So
bummer.
now the cops are smoking that weed.
Yeah, that's
You
in
gonna
the
have to like that
evidence
again.
room, and that's such bullshit. Such bullshit.
Now that sucks, but one of the problems was they was in a state,
Where
okay,
it wasn't
where it
legal.
wasn't legal, and then they were driving with it across states. So that's
Oh,
when
they were driving across state lines?
yeah. So you know what I mean. They were from Vermont. You know what I mean, and they were going to Nebraska, and you know how it is. Shit's a little behind, so in order to go from Vermont to Nebraska, you got to cross state lines. I mean, it's nowhere around that shit. So it is what it is.
Sounds about right.
But that's what happened, and they got busted. Yeah. But for me, I'm like, that's awesome. I mean, hook me up. I want a Christmas gift.
Right? There's this one guy on TikTok that goes around, and I'm pretty sure it's in a weed legal state. It has to be, right? Where he goes around and gives homeless people presents, and it's like, hey, yo, man, you hungry? Like, I got a burger for you. I got a water bottle. You smoke some weed? I got a joint for you. And to be honest, like, being in a position like that beforehand, like, I was homeless. Yeah. And if I had somebody come up to me, and I've had people come up to me and be like, yo, you hungry? Like, you want something? What's good?
Absolutely.
And just offer me food, and there was some sort of like, like special like camaraderie in that when you were like homeless together with a bunch of people, and you have that little community that people like look out for each other and watch each other's backs, and it's so fucking cool to see it, but it's so shitty to see human beings in that position in the first place.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for people to just have that little like extension of a heart and reach out, and then just, not just food, not just, water. It's like, let me give you the stuff you need to survive, but also what you also need to survive, like just for your mind.
Yeah.
And I do that too nowadays when I see I see homeless people just chilling up, like, oh, you hungry? Because I'm lucky enough to where my boss tells me to eat every single day. Make a sandwich.
But that's dope, though.
There's times where we have people that cancel their order, and I've already made the 8 sandwiches, or
or they don't come and pick their shit up,
or they don't come and they don't pick up their order, or I'm training somebody, and in order to train them, you got to teach them how to make a sandwich, and now these sandwiches don't have anywhere to go, you know. And so I'll walk around, or my boss will do the same thing, and we'll drive around and be like, yo, man, you hungry? Like, here you go, eat, do that. But I know my boss won't do this, but I particularly will be like, yo, you smoke too? Like, here, let me bless you. Have a great day. And it just makes that person's day so much brighter, because it's like, yeah.
Like, man, I'm about to smoke, wait till I get hungry, and eat and kill this shit.
And she gave me 2 sandwiches, bro. Like, I got lunch and dinner now. Like, I don't have to,
what I'm saying? Yeah. Cause that joint gonna make you get hungry anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it also, like, in a sense, when you do smoke it, you kind of forget where you are for a minute.
Yeah.
Not just saying that. You kind of, in a sense, it kind of takes away like the harsh reality that you're living in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because when you and me, we'll smoke a joint and we can go and get comfy right into bed.
Take your mind off of it.
But it does take your mind off of it, and that's why it's nice. And that's why, like some people, a lot of people, when they're like, oh, why do you give homeless people money if it's going straight to drugs? It's going straight to this. It's going straight to the So that's what they're spending it on. Okay. If that's what's going to get them through another day, then so fucking be it.
But everybody ain't doing that, though. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, you might have somebody that go get drugs.
Like, okay.
But you can't treat everybody like that. So you just, if you got it, you give it. You know what I mean? And if you don't, you don't. If you don't want to, don't do it. Don't complain about it just because you know that ain't your position right now. So.
Speaking of, I have one story that kind of made me giggle, which is a little fucked up in the end, but it says, Florida man, this is one of my favorite is reading Florida man man headlines, because they're hilarious. Everybody knows about them.
Right.
But Florida man bites neighbor's ear off over a cigarette. So this dude was out drinking, and it says, A Florida man decided to go all Mike Tyson on his neighbor's ear because he didn't give him a cigarette. According to
Damn.
Boca police, the victim had a chunk of his ear bitten off after he turned down the man who had asked him for a smoke.
Damn.
And a thin piece of cartilage kept the whole ear from being ripped from the man's head.
Yo. Maybe he shouldn't have had a cigarette. Maybe he needed something to eat. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was
hungry.
Maybe he was asking for the wrong thing. That's vicious, man.
That is like.
I mean,
I've done that before where I have gladly, like when I used to smoke cigarettes and somebody come up to me like, yo, can I have a cigarette? If you ask me nicely and I'm in the mood, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If I have it to give, like you said, if I have it to give, absolutely. Here, leave me alone, you know?
Yeah.
But there's sometimes where it's just like, nope, I don't like the way you asked me.
But
I don't have it to give.
I mean, and he was
who
angry.
cares? They're mine.
He was,
you know?
He was angry enough to bite a man's ear off.
But exactly, my thing is like
that's some other shit right there.
Damn, like part of me is like I'm never not gonna say no to another person
You know what I'm
again. You know,
like,
shit, if that's gonna happen,
take my ear off.
My ear off. I don't know about all that.
Over a cigarette?
Yeah, it ain't that serious.
Damn. Wait, so was this guy his friend?
I don't know. It says he was a neighbor.
Oh, the neighbor.
So he asked his,
so if
his
he
neighbor.
Had
so he's probably inside drinking or whatever.
Apartment or
goes
some
out
shit.
And like, yo, how about a smoke? Nah. Fuck you, man.
Bite your ear off. And I'm thinking like, damn, there's probably
like
some
how the
other
news
neighbors
article
that
did say though, like he went all Mike Tyson on him. Like
yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah, that is kind of fucked up.
That's what made me laugh. I'm like, that's funny. Or
there to me, there was
so
something
many
else
stupid
going
crimes
on.
that are committed because I feel like
there had to be something else going on. This man bit another man's ear off because he wouldn't give him a cigarette. There has to be
he
more.
probably had a lot of internal anger issues.
Yeah,
there had to have been something definitely going on. But
something
all I got
had
was
to
that
be.
little blurb of him getting his ear bitten off. Another one was there was two articles, different women, but the same thing that happened, and they assaulted their boyfriends because basically when they were having sex, the boyfriend obviously came first, right?
Okay.
And they didn't finish off their girlfriends. So because their girlfriends didn't get pleasured,
what did they do to him though?
Assaulted the fuck out of their boyfriends, like beat the shit out of them, basically, to the point where the cops got called and they got arrested.
Damn.
So, men, it is important.
I'm saying, like, though, can't
let
you just,
your women come first.
Oh, but can't you just say, hey, I didn't get off. Can you keep doing something?
No, I'm guessing that was the thing, was like, yo, hello, pay attention to me. And he's like, nah, I got mine. I'm good. And she's like,
assault.
What?
Both of them, so they both did the same thing. They just beat them up.
They just beat the shit out of their boyfriends.
Nothing like extreme, nothing brutal.
Like, this one said something along the lines of, 24-year-old female has been arrested for allegedly assaulting her boyfriend when he had an orgasm and she did not, according to the police report. And then there's another one. This one cracked me up because there was this one, right, that says she allegedly assaults her boyfriend for orgasming too quickly.
Wow. Wait, that said too quickly.
Yeah.
That one wasn't
so
like...
but then, like, he came before her, so that's why she was mad. It was
yeah,
like, dude, what about me? You know? So, like, it was because he orgasmed and she didn't. And then there's this one that says, a pleasure not so mutual. And this headline kills me.
What is it? What is it?
It says, cops. Women 50, battered boyfriend 32 because 6 came before 9.
Wait, that's their name?
No, it says the woman, 50 years old. She battered her boyfriend, who was 32 years old, because the 6 came before the 9.
Wow.
And it said a Florida woman is jailed on a battery rap for allegedly striking her boyfriend after he finished first and stopped pleasuring her due to a mutual oral session late last night in the victim's home.
Damn.
Yeah, and then
All
it
of
says
this is
Jenny
in
Scott,
Florida?
50 years old, was booked in to the Manatee County lockup on a misdemeanor charge stemming from the 11 p.m. encounter in the Palmetto bedroom of Gilberto Delano. I don't know how
Is
to
this
say
all
this.
in
32.
Florida?
Scott had dated Delano for the last 5 years on and off. And then it says deputies were summoned to the home by a witness who heard the couple arguing and saw Scott atop Zelion punching and scratching him. She also allegedly struck him with a stick and threatened to hit him with a wrench before the tool was taken from her hands by the witness.
Oh, because
So she beat the shit out of her boyfriend
for busting too fast.
because they were 69
And
he
he
finished
bust.
and he didn't continue on her.
He should have just kept going.
Exactly. That's
He should have just go ahead and
keep
finished
it
it off.
Keep it going.
You know what I'm saying? In Mortal Kombat, you get
Finish
three
her.
you get 3 chances. You know what I'm saying?
Stupid.
She gave you a chance, man. Man,
But it's just.
that's so bad. That is
But
bad.
also, like, when it comes down to the women, it's like, girl, if you have that much pent up aggression and like sexual frustration,
Woo. You got
get
the
yourself a vibrator.
Or you got the
And
wrong
it's gonna,
dude.
Or yeah, absolutely. But if you got the wrong dude and you still love him and he's just not that good in the sack, you know,
I
if
mean,
it's something like that can get fixed, like that's where communication comes in, and you guys gotta
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
it and blah blah blah
but
blah.
you got to
But
introduce
also,
him
like,
to other
if
shit.
you but if you or just drop them, find somebody else. But if
Yeah.
you got that much pent up anger and aggression, just get you a fucking vibrator, man.
Man,
And then
tell
just
him
whack
to
one
use
off,
that.
and then and if he
Shit.
doesn't, bye.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Bye.
shit.
Bye.
That's weird because I don't know, man. I get off on the pleasure of a woman, like
That's
you know
my
what I'm saying.
thing too.
So
is
it's
like,
just like
it's a very like
I'm not trying to finish. I'm trying to get you off first. You know what I mean?
I understand that, yeah. And this is a very awkward conversation we're having.
Yeah, it is. But
I
but
understand
my
because
mentality is that.
it's a lot of people do have the same mentality as well, where it's like I get turned on by knowing that you're turned on.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I turned
You're
on.
being pleased.
Yeah.
You know what I mean with what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
And hearing all of this and that, like that's what gets me
Going.
going. And yeah, absolutely, I get that 100%.
So it's like you. I mean, if you just wham bam and thank you, ma'am, I mean, that's kind of selfish.
very, isn't it?
You know what I'm saying?
And
In a
it's
way,
and it's crazy because a lot of men are like that.
it's like damn.
Like I don't know how many times where I've had my head like shoved down because it's like me first, and it's like,
you know what's fucked up?
come on now.
That shit's fucked up because it's just like that. There's no care in that. There's no kind of passion in that shit.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
Absolutely not.
I'll be like, wouldn't you want that shit to last longer? Cause it feel good. You know what I mean? You just want to end it like that? That's something else.
Yeah, and I understand like a lot of people, or there's certain people that have like those issues where they just a little too fast.
Yeah, but that don't mean you have to
But
end it.
yeah, it doesn't mean one and done. I mean, fucking recuperate for a minute, and while you're recuperating, focus on her.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna like be up there, and then she's gonna start focusing on you.
Yeah.
Once she had her thing, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just gonna be this like beautiful little
Circle.
cycle.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
That's it.
That's crazy. I mean, when you put it that way, it's like I don't feel so bad, but it's like damn. You know what I mean? You got your ass. She got arrested for what? Wow.
Yeah. And it's like, baby girl, leave him.
Mm-hmm.
If it's getting to the point where you need to beat the shit out of him because
like,
he doesn't understand that he needs to pleasure you, then you're not getting anything from that relationship, are you? Not a goddamn
thing. You would
thing.
want that shit to last a little bit longer than
yeah, that's so bad. Oh.
So hey, listen, I got some shit. This shit is wild.
Okay.
This is the case of the Virginia serial cat shaver. So,
wait.
Yeah. Like for real, meow. You know
for real, meow. He just goes around just shaving
cats, man. I thought this was like a metaphor at first.
Yeah.
Until people start seeing cats
my
walking around.
Friend
it's got shaved, you know. And what he wasn't even shaving the whole cat. He was shaving the legs and the bottom, and that was it.
Just like the bottom half of the cat?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. And here's the kicker. He never got caught. So this motherfucker is still out there shaving cats.
He's still at large.
He's still at large.
Oh my God.
So if you or anybody you know has seen a bottom only shaved cat,
I really want to know about it.
Let us know.
Please.
And
oh
understand.
My God. I hope
it is the serial cat shaver.
I hope this man or female, I don't know. I hope this serial cat shaver lives to be as like infamous as like Jack the Ripper or the Zodiac Killer. I really do, man.
Yo, I was tripping.
Keep doing you.
Cat shaver. Like, what the fuck? At first, I was like picturing, you know how you read and you picture shit, and I was like, oh, he's shaving.
How does that work?
He's shaving the whole cat. Just like it's just.
You just like kidnap him and just sit there and just.
But then they described how he wasn't shaving the whole cat. He was only shaving the bottom half. I was like, oh,
why just the half?
He's leaving a mark.
Like that's just his.
You know what I'm saying? I honestly think if it was a bunch of bald cats running around, some people wouldn't even have fucking paid attention too much. But because
they would just be like, "There's a lot of like Sphinx cats in our area now."
Cats must have had babies. You know what I'm saying? But because he did that, he was leaving a mark so he could be known for it. You know what I mean? That's some psychological shit.
Why do you want to be known as like a pussy shaver?
Well, he is in the paper. So
okay, but we're talking about him, so I mean, obviously.
And what did you just say? He's known as a pussy shaver. Tell me that ain't a funny story to report.
No, that's hilarious because could you imagine like somebody obviously had to notice that these cats were getting shaved
yes.
in the neighborhood.
He was a serial cat shaver. That is fucking weird.
Like exactly. Like somebody had to know, like had to notice.
Yeah.
That these cats were getting shaved and not just like completely shaved. Like, oh, there's another bald cat running around. Like, no, there's another half-shaved cat running around. What the fuck?
Somebody's shaving these cats. Somebody's shaving.
Who is doing this to the cat population in our town?
But what's funny is they put that in the paper. They've had to have
like probably met other people that had their cats half shaved and like, oh my God, I bet you there's a fucking support group.
Yeah, cat shaving anonymous. Yeah. Yo, but somebody decided to print this up. There's
probably like ads, you know, if you've been personally victimized by the serial cat shaver in our neighborhood, please call.
1-800
join our meetings.
Cat save. 1-800 cat save, not cat shave.
Cat ladies against cat shaving.
That is crazy, man. Because they literally had to put the Virginia serial cat shaver, right? So immediately that's gonna draw eyes. Cause that's some curious shit right there. Yeah, you like, wait, what? What kind of cat? You know what I'm saying?
That's what you're worried about.
Yeah, what kind of cat they talk about? Like, is they being you know what I'm saying? It's like what? So but automatically you gonna want to read that shit.
Yeah.
I know when I seen the headline, I was like, ooh, yeah. What is this about? Oh, this is hilarious.
Like, what the fuck though? Like,
he's going around shaving cats
for no fucking reason. But that is really.
There was a reason.
What was the
It
what
was
was the
weird. It was
reason?
some weird ass reason. I tell you that much.
It's like, okay, obviously there must have been a reason, but I mean,
That was some psychological shit. That was some, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Some weird shit. You got? I know you got something else. What you got?
I don't know. I found another one, but I can't.
You had like
Cross
15 of them.
me.
I have some more
But they were all
too.
the same ones.
I got some more too. I could just read
Oh
read it
yeah.
right off of this. Now this one, y'all, I think everybody already knows about. So in Ohio, it said it was a 10. I don't understand why I say this, but it says 10 6-year-old leads police on a crazy fast and furious style car chase. Right? So look, this dude was in elementary school. This was in Ohio. This guy, he needed a booster seat. That's how small he was.
Was he a midget?
And no, he was an elementary school kid.
Oh.
Said, is he a midget?
I wasn't listening to half of the start.
Little person, I'm sorry.
That was mean of me. I'm so sorry. Is he a little person?
So you got this kid. It's a kid, but he's driving a Toyota Avalon. Now, for those of y'all who don't know what an Avalon is like an SUV. So this little kid in this big vehicle is doing 100 miles an hour. Right? So the police got up to him, stopped him after he crashed, like into 6 cars. And they said, son, why did you do this? Guess what his answer was?
What?
'Cause I was bored. He's a criminal already.
At how old?
Man, it says a 6-year-old.
Damn. He went to go drive the car because he was bored.
Nobody noticed it.
That's the thing, though. Is like you have.
Where was your parents, your grandparents, whoever you live with? Where were they?
Obviously.
I mean, he just. Nobody didn't be like, oh my God, he's backing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh, that's weird, but I don't know. So I think that came from what's that one dude who do that comedy show? But he was talking. He had the little kid on who because he wanted to smoke with cigarettes, and he was driving the car and he crashed and all of that.
I have no idea.
Dang it, I can't remember that.
No idea what you're
the
talking
skinny
about.
comedian dude. He was doing what Rob Dyrdek and them do. He was the first one to do it. It was the first guy I ever seen do it. Tosh 2.0. Tosh
6. Is it 2.0?
Is it 2.0? Tosh point oh.
Yeah, there it is.
There it
that guy.
He was the first one that was doing video clips and making funny, saying funny stuff off of him.
No.
To me, he was the first one I saw.
I feel like the first, no, because
it was before ridiculousness, I tell you that.
But ridiculousness did stem from shows like America's Funniest Home Videos and Candid Camera and all of that bullshit.
Yeah. But the narration.
You remember that shit? But yes, obviously. But
the style of narration is
different. But if you look at America's Funniest Home Videos with Bob Saget, or even when
that's where it started.
What's his face? The guy that played Carlton did it after him, right?
Yeah. Alfonso Ribeiro.
There we go. Thank you. After Bob Saget did it, he took over, but they all did have that like funny little voiceover.
They had a comedic person to talk about the
do the voiceovers over it, and that's where Bob Saget came in and stuff like that. Ridiculousness, that was when I want to say, because America's Funniest Home Videos, they had to have people send in
the V8 that was VHS.
Yeah, like you had to have people like taking videos and then actively send this in to get and then people would win money off of the funniest videos that people voted for or whatever. And then I feel like ridiculousness, because that's when like the internet took a big became a big thing, and
you have people doing stuff like the Jackass videos
where it's just readily available to skim through and pick out and take, and just here, show it. And that's why there's so many other like variations of ridiculousness now. You have like the cooking version, you have like the stupid bullshit version, and then this other version,
there's
and then this
spin-offs of
version.
that.
Yeah.
But the shows like that, Tosh was the first one I saw. But you're right. America's Funny Home Video was
like the start.
Yeah,
of it.
the start.
That's where it came from.
But the stand-up comedian doing the videos, Tosh was the first one I saw doing that. And then I started seeing several other people doing the same thing. Yeah. Showing little videos, became a thing. Making fun of it, and then I mean, people doing it still now on TikTok.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but the kid was on Tosh.0, and he was a little bad kid, but he actually had the kid come to the show, and he took his grandma's car. Yeah. He liked to smoke with cigarettes, and then they was asking him why he took the car and crashed it. He was like, "'Cause it's fun." You know what I mean? So that's what that kid reminded me of. But this kid was 6. That other kid was like 10.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
I kind of remember some bullshit like that. Like that show was funny, but it was also stupid. So stupid.
I'm trying to figure out how a 6-year-old leave the house and take the car
without being like
noticed. Nobody ain't see Tommy crying, screaming. Nobody didn't see Calvin leave. The front door, y'all didn't feel that breeze?
You didn't notice? You didn't hear like the slam? You didn't hear the car start up?
Nothing.
Who's in the driveway?
No chirp.
Nothing.
Come on. I can't believe that.
That's crazy.
You know? Unless you live on a big old farm or a ranch or something, and Calvin or little Tommy is used to just driving a whip around. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe it's one of those things, because I remember when I was little, my dad and even my grandpa would let me drive, you know, but it was on his lap.
Yeah, you lap driving.
And we were doing this, you know.
You got the steering wheels, they got the pedals.
Right? Yeah, that's what it is. And it could have been something like that, you know, where like dad or whoever does it for a little bit, haha, we're having fun, but it's usually like out in the desert. And now he done decided to just... You know, and then he's probably bored, somebody's not paying attention.
Yeah.
Meemaw's not watching him, so he decides to waddle off. And I want to go drive the car. I want to go do that. That was fun.
I could just imagine this kid.
But there's plenty of stories like that
this
where
on
like
the steering wheel and feet just straight right on the pedals.
Little kids
can't even
like,
see.
Yeah,
100 miles an hour.
But there's been stories like that
Pedal
where little
to the
kids
fucking
have
metal.
like jacked their parents' cars and just took off because they wanted to go to the store because mom said no, they're not getting cookies, so they're gonna go get their cookies or some shit like that, you know.
Man, I would know if one of my kids left out the house.
Oh, obviously, because you guys have like fortress out here.
Like for real.
The camera zooms in on your face. Like, who is it?
Yeah, we know who come. Yeah. There's no way.
Are you?
Ain't nobody sneaking in, and ain't nobody sneaking out.
Exactly.
You feel me?
And that's cool. And hell yeah. And I'm kind of glad that I, as a teenager, didn't grow up with my mom having that sort of technology.
Oh yeah.
Could you imagine? Ooh. Could you imagine trying to sneak out with that? These kids have to be stupid smart in order to do that shit.
I can't. No. I can't imagine it. I can't.
No, you'd have to be a good kid. You'd have to stay your ass inside. Like, I can't.
Everybody done. Well, I don't want to say everybody, but people like me, people like us, you done all snuck out. You done all ditched school. And you done all got either you got some kind of alcohol and you done had some kind of weed or something before your ass hit 18.
Don't incriminate me that much.
No incrimination. It just is what it is. It's like when you
my mom watches this podcast.
But that's how things was.
Sorry, Mom.
And what's crazy is the parents expected it, so they tried to build a fortress to protect you from it.
Yeah.
But you couldn't.
It's like
now you can, but then you couldn't. You couldn't stop it.
No.
You know.
Because it's like don't go doing out crazy shit, blah 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 blah. And we could easily create shit, and we've gotten I know people have gotten caught up before, and I've gotten caught up before, like like my parents have caught on quick and like, no, you're lying, get your ass home. It's like, oh shit, Okay.
But that was a different type of busted.
Yeah,
You
it
know what I'm
was.
saying?
It wasn't as quick and as easy as it is to be like, oh, really? What
Yeah,
does
because
this say?
back then there were no cell phones, motherfucker.
No.
You can't call me.
Ping your location.
Yeah, you don't know where I'm at.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
No.
be home before the street lights
from
come
the
on.
landline at fucking
Yeah.
Sarah's house.
If you're getting
and
any
be
problems,
like, oh,
call
I'm at Sarah's
1-800
house.
collect. You
Oh, I
get any
remember that
problems,
shit.
call 1-800
Yeah.
collect.
Did your parents used to tell you that too? Like, yo, if you
Yeah,
get lost,
1-800 collect.
find a payphone and
Mhm.
1-800 collect. This is when you
Collect
had to
call.
like memorize the house numbers and numbers.
Yeah.
So this is when you had to like keep that shit in your memory
For real.
or have it written down in a little book somewhere.
Yeah, you had to memorize all the numbers if you wanted something to go down.
Something
you had
important.
To memorize.
You had to memorize all your friends'
Yeah.
numbers.
And you had to be able to find a payphone.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't no cell phones back then. So they just said, get out, come home when the street lights come on, and that was it. They didn't know where the hell you was.
I didn't really like. My mom was way too.
So many times I was off the block.
Too like.
I was gone.
For me to be out of her eyesight, I wasn't allowed.
Man, when we lived in Long Beach, we would ride when it was like, oh, could be home when the street lights on. Oh, in the morning we was out.
Oh, I believe it.
Gone. We would be in Lakewood.
But you were able to have that and have that like cool, fun, like little.
Oh
like,
yeah.
adventure.
Yeah, because back then it was like everybody had a bike or a skateboard. Or you had one of them cool ass bikes where your boy can ride on your handlebars or on the pegs on the back.
Yeah.
Man, I lived in Long Beach. We would either be at the Lakewood Mall, and there was a swimming pool in Lakewood. We would be there, or when we had those days, it was just like we get up early on Saturday, we go to Cerritos.
Ooh, that was fun.
You know what I mean? You go on, underneath the freeway is a ravine, and you just ride your bike underneath the ravine until you get to Cerritos. Bam. Be home before the street lights come on.
Beg my mom to take us out. Like, where? Can I please?
But they knew we was gone.
Can I please go? Can I please go now? Okay.
Your mom was strict though. Your mom was
very,
mad
very,
strict,
very.
man.
And
She was strict. Oh my God, man.
And that's the thing.
She wouldn't let me and your sister sleep in the same room until we was married.
I remember.
That was some wild shit.
I remember. My mom did a lot of crazy shit,
Yeah.
and that's not to bash on her
No
in
bash.
any way, but it's just
It's all
like,
love.
people grow up
Yeah.
and shit happens. But I just remember my mom being very strict in certain senses and very just very overprotective, and she
Yeah.
was trying in her best way to do it and necessarily wasn't the best way, and because of that it resulted in me missing out on a lot of like opportunities,
Yeah.
and a lot of things like where you have these stories with your friends like, oh, I remember sneaking out and doing this, and I remember staying out until the lights changed,
Spending
all
the
day.
night. Spending the night.
Yeah, and all you had to do
Spending the
was
night.
call, your mom from your friend's house and be like, yo, can I spend the night? And she'd probably be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I know them. Cool. All right,
Yeah.
awesome. I had to plan this shit in advance, beg her, make sure my grades were straight, make sure everything was good, and be like, oh, mom, can I please spend the night at my friend's house? No. Okay.
That's you know.
And so it was like, why ask? Why bother?
That's why. See that, and that's why your sister and me too. We are both like we let
But
them be little. We let them be kids.
Exactly,
You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
and that's what I plan on doing too if I ever have children, and that's what I say that I love about
You gonna
how
give me a
you-
nephew?
how
You gonna give me?
one
I
of
ain't,
these days,
I ain't an uncle.
one of these days,
You know
one
what
of
I'm
these
saying?
days, one of these days in the far
Far.
near future, over there somewhere,
Far, way over there.
well, over there somewhere,
We'll cross that
Yeah.
timeline when we get
yeah,
there.
one of these days.
Yeah,
But
no,
shit.
but yeah, that's why
Yeah.
we the way we are with them. Just like
Yeah.
let them
But
be
I also
kids. and
love
live.
seeing that because, in a sense, to me, you're breaking. For me personally, and I know what my sister has gone through as
Yeah,
well,
for me
is
too.
you're breaking generational bullshit, and
Mhm.
you're allowing your children to grow up and be better than you as opposed to being
Yeah.
just like you.
But
Because
they express themselves differently, so you
oh
gotta
yeah, and it's
understand that.
crazy. Like I was saying, like
They need to be able to express themselves too, even though they little. You
yeah,
know?
but you're growing up to teaching them how to be human beings.
Mm-hmm.
You're teaching them how to be adults. You're showing them and trying to shove all of this information into their tiny little brains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, be safe, do this, do that, learn this, do this, brush your teeth, wash your ass. You know,
Look both
here's how you
ways before you
shave.
cross.
Hold hands when you cross the street. You
All
know,
of
look
that.
both ways. You know, walk the opposite way when somebody's driving you. You know,
Yeah.
following you.
Oh yeah, I be on them. I be on them on that one.
Certain stuff like that. Keep your hands out of your pockets when the cops come. Like, you teach them all of this
All
shit
that.
you can shove into their tiny little brains, and then it's crazy because it's just showing you how wild it is when these little creatures, you know,
Oh yeah.
actually
And the
grow
world.
up and turn into like human beings.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and like
Young
I have
adults.
my own interest, I have my own this, I have my own thoughts and
Yeah.
feelings, and it's so cool like watching it and be like, oh wow, and you did a great job with your kids, you know, all of them, to be honest.
Yeah,
and like
just
seeing it, and you can see where in, you know, each kid's, you know, you've kind of like learned how to maneuver certain
yeah,
situations.
yeah. You got it. That's the one thing I think a lot of us that was born before the 2000s, we can say, you know, our parents, for me, and I would say this for a lot of people, not everybody, but for a
Mhm.
lot of people, our parents didn't allow us to be us. You know what
No,
I mean? There was a lot of
we had to
control in the shopping, what you wear, how you dress, how you present yourself.
very much so, yeah.
The moral code was high. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it was like they was doing everything for you instead of
and I
letting you be
feel,
you.
and sorry to interrupt you, but I feel like the reason they were doing that, it was because back in our day, people were still trying to fit into the box of the American dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we were always told as kids, you got to go to school, you got to get good grades, you got to go to college, you got to get yourself a
Yeah,
degree,
all of
and that's
that.
in order to get a good job and you make good money and then buy yourself a house and have a
And
family
all
and
that's
do it
changed
in this
now.
particular order. And if you don't do it in that particular order, you're stupid and you're fucked up and you're doing it
You're
wrong.
a loser.
And so we had this shoved into our brains, and this is how we do it in this exact way. So we're like, oh, okay. And then when one thing comes before the other thing that your parents told you, you know, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, oh, the baby comes before the marriage. Oh, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And then I have to go
The
to college.
carriage before marriage or some
Or
shit.
whatever it may be. Or I don't want to go to college. I want to go and do
Marriage
this
before
instead. And I
carriage.
want to learn a trade because that's going to get me the best money. And they're like, no, that's not how you fucking do it. You need to be
Mhm.
stuck in thousands of dollars worth of debt and blah, 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 blah. And it's just insane, right? So
Yeah.
that's why we're our own sort of fucked up in the way that we
Yeah.
are. But when that generation has their own kids and they're like, I don't, like, the American dream is dead. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a thing
Yeah.
that
The
that
American
my
dream
kids,
itself is a what do you call it?
it's a fucking Ponzi scheme.
Yeah,
It's not a
it's-
real
it's
thing
not a real-
anymore.
it never was though.
But-
actually,
But
because
um,
you
no,
still could be
but
in
it was-
debt,
yes,
and
absolutely.
the debt is what they like.
But they had, yeah, absolutely. That's the whole thing for the American dream, was to get yourself in debt.
yeah,
And now that we're noticing that and realizing, like, yo, that's not how it should be,
yeah,
I'm going to teach my kids what I think is the right way. Like, yo, learn yourself a trade, learn how to do this, learn how to, like, take care of yourself and grow your own food and
Mhm.
build your own shit and be
They don't like that.
self-sufficient.
You can't even collect rainwater.
No, you
You
can't,
know
because
what
that's
I'm saying?
illegal.
So it's
That's
like,
another silly fucking crime.
How is something that nature
You're
produced
not allowed to grow your own
illegal?
food and, like, give it out. You know, you can't do shit like
But
that.
how is something that nature produced? How can you, as
It's
a
the same
man,
reason as, like, that's
as a
exa-
human being,
and
say
that's why
I
weed
can
is
collect
illegal,
it?
right?
It was.
And that's why weed was illegal for a very long time, is because doctors realized how much this could save lives and that they're not going to make money off
How
of
much
it.
it could be used for, period.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can break it down and turn it into this and
Oils,
save lives with this.
Fuel,
Tinctures,
everything.
clothing,
Yeah, man.
paper, anything you can fucking think of, you can turn it into.
And they don't want you to have it because they only want to make
because
money off
it's
of
not profitable if everybody
them.
has it, and that's
Oh,
so
it
crazy.
is. But remember, that's how they did
That's
us with
only
the damn cell
profitable
phones.
if you're buying it off of me.
Yeah, they did that with the cell phones.
Yeah.
Them shits came out. Only the rich can have them. Then they made it to where it was like everybody can have them, but guess what? It's gonna be a high bill. You're gonna be paying this amount per minute.
Yeah.
Then they made them to where now it's like we controlling you with it.
Yeah.
We can't right now.
Because now
I don't
you
care
can't
who
do
you
anything
are.
without a cell phone.
No, you can't
do
even have a
anything
job
cell
without
phone.
a cell phone.
No, because you need a cell phone number.
Yeah, you had to have a number.
How am I gonna reach you?
I don't even have a house phone because why?
They're obsolete now.
You know what I'm saying? What do I need a house phone for?
It's obsolete. What do I need to
You know?
call your house phone for when I can just call something that's on your direct person and get a hold of you?
You gotta have it now. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's crazier because now it's like kids that are younger. I was not allowed to have a cell phone.
I was about to bring that up
until I was in high school. I was 16 years old, and I had to somehow afford it myself.
Yep.
Without a job, I had to work around the house and have the chores deemed enough money. Like, oh, you know what? Since you deep cleaned the entire house, that results in about $20 or something like that, right? Bullshit. But I had to, in a sense, work for it myself, pay for it myself, deal for it myself. After that, last time, like 16, that's when my mom bought me the phone. Like, oh, you did good, here you go, but you have to like pay for it, you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like, oh, I gotta buy my own shit. And that's all I did. All of the phones that I've had, I bought myself. All of the cars that I've had, I bought myself. And I'm not saying,
but even now,
but
like,
I'm saying
the kids have to have them.
They have exactly.
They have to have them.
Is now like, as an 8-year-old, you have to have a cell phone.
You gotta.
Why does an 8-year-old have to have a cell phone?
Because he got to make that call. He got to be able to touch you anytime.
Exactly.
At any time.
Exactly.
You know, even if they at school, that's not nowadays. That ain't full protection.
And it's the same thing as even if the only numbers that are in your phone are your mom's and your daddy's
911
and yeah, exactly. That's all you need.
That's it.
Press this emergency call number. Okay, good. There you go.
That's it. That's all you need to know. And they got them now.
Yeah.
Shit, mine's got them.
Yeah.
But it's for
just
that
crazy
reason.
to see how it came from like, oh, you have to work for it.
Yeah.
And instead of like, here, you need this because it's a survival tech, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's a survival thing. Like
now,
you need this.
The way it is.
Yeah.
Man, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It started off as a luxury. And then it became
people be getting on these schoolyards, and these people and the people that are in the schoolyard is not stopping these people. So I rather my kid be call 911 and then call me and be like, "There's somebody here.
Yeah,
come up here."
Exactly.
Before I wait for a motherfucking teacher to call me or a principal to call me,
or
when he got 130 kids
news,
to call.
You know,
yeah,
133 parents.
He got a call
that aren't gonna answer.
You know what I mean? Like, no, the cell phone ring and it's my kid. You know it's your kid. You see it's your kid. You know
it's in the afternoon, and you're like, you are supposed to be.
It's like, nuh-uh, come get me.
You're in math right now. Why are you calling me?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You wait for that teacher. I wouldn't do it now.
No.
And you ain't stopping me from getting my kid either. It ain't happening. I'm going to get my kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So now.
Crazy. I love how we just go from
this to that. I told you we talk about anything and everything. Right.
That's what happens when you're stoned.
So.
That's the side effects of medical marijuana, folks.
Sophisticated, complicated, or just hated?
Lay it on me.
Oh, shit. Okay. So, sophisticated, complicated, or just hated. Wow. So we was talking about crime and children.
Okay.
And in the old days,
Okay. Okay, where are we going with this?
So, the stuff we was talking about, it was funny crimes, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But what I want to know is,
Oh no. Why are you giggling like that?
oh shit! Out of the crimes, right?
Uh-huh.
Sophisticated, complicated, or just hated?
Sophisticated, complicated, or just hated
Yeah,
on the crimes?
yeah, yeah.
Um.
Wait. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Can you tell we like pre-planned all all of it? We worked really hard on this episode, guys.
Dude, that's why it took so fucking long.
Oh God. Okay. So, if I have to sophisticated, complicated, just hated all the crimes.
Yeah.
I think the most sophisticated one was the cat shaver. That one was my favorite. I loved that one.
Oh yeah.
The just hated, I will say, the little kid driving the
Toyota
car.
Yeah.
Because it's just dangerous in my aspect. Like that's not gonna
Super
go anywhere.
dangerous.
I just had questions.
It's a
I felt like a
child.
Karen when you told me that story. I was like, where were the parents? What
That's
were you
immediately
doing?
what I thought too.
You know,
though, it's
like,
like how you don't know
I
your
went
kid
straight
missing.
Karen mode, and I was like, oh, that's not funny.
How you don't know your kid
I don't
missing
like
though?
that. What if he drove straight into a wall? You know,
I mean,
that kid could have got his like seriously injured, and thank God he didn't, and thank God it was just a funny haha moment.
Yeah.
Now,
He
but
said he was bored.
yeah, like oh,
That's
haha.
so you say
But
that's just hated.
that was my just hated one because it's like damn, like
What's complicated?
complicated. I'm gonna go with the premature ejaculation. Because it's also one of the only ones I can remember.
No, that shit was funny. I would say this. Look,
because it is complicated. Like
My
I get
sophisticated-
it. Sometimes you can't hold it. Like people edge themselves. I get it. And sometimes you just can't.
no,
right?
you don't want to be
So when-
edged forever.
Yeah. So when you come, you come. But my thing is make it a mutual thing. Like if they are pleasured, make sure the other one's pleasured.
Yeah.
Make sure it's a mutual
Yeah.
understanding.
Pretend that shit's a commercial or something. Mentos pleasure. You got a pleasure. Full of life. You know what I'm saying? You got to give it all the way around.
You're
Fresh and full of life. Pop your Mentos. You know what I'm saying? That if you need whatever you need to get in there.
Oh, shit.
But for me, I would say
Eat a
sophisticated is the
Mentos
same
and, like,
one.
Just drink some Pepsi and
Cause
just
it
go
can
down.
just go downtown. Put your peppermint in there or something.
Oh my God.
Something. A
your
Hall's
peppermint.
Mentholyptus.
Some Pop Rocks.
Man, just do whatever you got to do.
Yo, there's toys, there's gadgets, there's
all
gizmos
kind
aplenty.
of stuff, man.
There's who's its and what's its galore.
You got
Thingabobobs?
you got fingers and
There's
mouth.
about
bro.
20.
It's like, come on, bro. So sophisticated definitely was the cat shaver.
I'm glad we can agree on that.
The cat shaver.
Yes, absolutely.
My complicated, it's very complicated.
We were talking-
Because I felt like the chicks who beat their dudes up because they, bust too quick, and my man that bit homie's ear off
yeah,
those
that one was
are like a
little-
tie to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's very weird that dude bit his homie ear off because he didn't give him a cigarette.
No,
That is fucking weird.
I do agree with you in the sense where when you read both of those like cases or like, articles, you're thinking like, what the fuck
Yes,
was
immediately.
this person going through to like attack somebody like
Yeah,
that?
man, you needed a
Like,
cigarette
how
that bad.
angry were you? Like you need nicotine that bad?
You
Like
bit a man's ear off
No.
almost.
it ain't that serious.
And then you beat your dude up, like
So
beat
bad
his
because he
ass.
did not come
The
first.
cops had to come.
The neighbors heard.
because
somebody had to pull a wrench out of your hand because you were going in with the wrench.
you should have just went. You should have just got the vibrator and did it in front of his ass.
Yeah.
Maybe he would have got the hint.
Fucking took a shower.
Something.
Just like
put them jets on.
That fucking magical shower head.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking some shit. I don't know. Do something. You figure it out.
But to get the cops called, that's
Yes,
crazy. So those two were complicated. Just hate it. I agree. The 6-year-old, there was definitely some negligence in the parenting of this child.
I agree.
Because not only did the child come up missing and nobody noticed, he took the car and nobody noticed. So
that's my thing. Like, what?
How does that happen?
You doing? What were you going off and like not paying
what's going on?
Attention to your kid for that long for?
That is nuts. I mean, you got a missing kid here. You know what I mean? So, I don't like that. That's negligence on the parents' part. All right, y'all. We about to get into some sophisticated note. This is the homie Bishop with Now We Cooking in 89. Oh, this sound West Coast. Yeah.
Like, you remember Hey Arnold, how it looked and how it had that
Football
New York.
Yeah.
But it had that, like, New York 90s, like, new kid and, you know, all that shit. This could be in a fucking episode.
I can also picture them like teenagers.
Just, like, walking.
On the block, yeah.
Right? To it.
Yeah. All right, you guys, that was the homie Bishop with Now We Cooking in 89. All right. So check this out. Guess what?
What?
Guess what time it is?
Guess what time it is? I don't know. What?
It's time to end this show.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. It's been great. Hell yeah.
All right, you guys.
Do it.
Just want to say we appreciate you. We love you. And always, thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening to our bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
And our rambles.
Just
we
sitting,
appreciate it
sipping,
so much.
and smoking with us. You know what I'm saying? You can catch us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, if you want it.
YouTube,
Also, catch us on YouTube.
all of the other streaming services for podcasts. So please follow, subscribe, like us, love us.
Exactly. And as always,
keep your
pinkies up and your dicks out. And we out.
Cheers.